You're listening to the June and July edition of the Sponsorship Experts podcast with Paul Poole, Director of Paul Poole Southeast Asia Co Limited and founder of the Sponsorship Experts. In this episode of the podcast, we're proud to announce Sponsor named as the official regional partner of Volleyball World, a partnership that we've brokered for the third consecutive year. Furthermore, Volleyball World has announced the official venues for the FIVB Volleyball Women's World Championship in Thailand in 2025. We also have a number of new commercial sponsorship and partnerships opportunities available, including the X15 Action Games 2026, and we have an interview with Ava from the organisers and the manufacturers of the boards, Starboard. And finally, we'll be talking about our sponsorship of the ASN Gambling Asia Market Analysis 2025 report. So let's get on with it. So here we are again, Paul, for a double bonus bumper 2-month episode of the podcast, and we have a special guest who'll probably be joining us at some point during the recording, and that's Mr. Bloke with a Drill, and we don't know where he is, so we can't ask him to stop.
And it's annoying he's just started again as we stop for 10 minutes.
Yeah. We got some quite exciting stuff to get through in this episode. The first one I want to talk about is Sponsor, who are confusingly the sponsor of the Volleyball World. So we've got news on that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So Sponsor has been named official regional partner of Volleyball World and expands its successful partnership across Southeast Asia. And we're extremely proud to have been the ones to broker that deal for a third consecutive year. So if you'll remember, Sponsor were our title sponsor of the Women's Volleyball Nations League finals here in Thailand last year, and also the leg the year before while it was here in Bangkok. So 2 years of VNL. This year there is no VNL here in Thailand. Instead, we have the Women's Volleyball World Championships.
That's kind of bigger, isn't it?
Which is the most important championships on the calendar of volleyball.
Right.
And Sponsor will get rights across selected legs of the VNL globally, particularly in Southeast Asia, and play an important role at the Women's World Champs here. And as a reminder, the Women's World Champs are coming up in August, September. 32 teams, 88 matches, 4 host cities, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later on.
And for those who don't know who Sponsor are,
Sponsor is Thailand's top sports drink brand under TCP Group. So they are the leading electrolyte isotonic sports drink in the market.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's not too shabby, given that Gatorade is available and all the other brands are available.
Yeah, there's plenty of electrolyte drinks in market.
Like everywhere, I mean, they've exploded, but this is Thailand's leader.
Yeah, it's Thailand's leader, and why the regional expansion of their sponsorship is they are now looking to go regional in terms of sales as well and distribution. So it's working hand in hand.
Volleyball World's ideal for them then.
And also, I mean, Sponsor a really fantastic partner for Volleyball World. They really activate their sponsorship really well.
Even at the interviews that they were doing at a press conference with all the teams and everything, they'd set up like this huge display.
Yeah.
And were very active.
Yep. So, you'll see through their regional partnership of Volleyball World, they'll be running a dynamic multi-channel marketing campaign with different initiatives, including match ticket giveaways, exclusive merch, etc. Right. Under the theme "Cheer for Thailand with all your heart." So
that's adorable.
Yeah, they're really promoting Cheer Thai and promoting the national team, and we've seen that with their previous sponsorships where they've done Follow My Team across the different legs of the VNL. So we are so proud to have done this deal again for a third year, as I mentioned. And really, really happy to see Sponsor, growing with Volleyball World. Really a fantastic partner and a really fantastic client. So real win-win for everybody.
Brilliant. And so that leads us on to the next thing we were going to talk about, because it's on my list of things to talk about, and that is the venues.
Yeah. So actually we've talked at length about the different cities where the Volleyball Women's World Championships Thailand will take place. But just as a recap, Bangkok will have the pool events and the final. Nakhon Ratchasima, or Korat, Chiang Mai and Phuket. So the competition, 22nd of August to the 7th of September this year. As I mentioned in the previous section, 32 teams, top women's teams from the world. So it's Serbia, world champs, Thailand hosts, and 30 of the top seed teams playing 88 matches. And in Bangkok, Hallmark Indoor Stadium, that was where the VNL was played last year and the year before. In Nakhon Ratchasima, it's at Chat Chai Hall, MCC Hall at the Mall. In Chiang Mai, it's the Chiang Mai International Exhibition and Convention Centre, which I believe is a brand new build. It's a brand new private centre. And then in Phuket at Sapahin Municipal Sports Complex. Right. So, you know, it's going to be a great 2 weeks of volleyball. So we're going to have some really great fun. Let's hope the Thai team do really well.
Well, they ain't too shabby. I mean, they're in with a shout, and the home ground kind of advantage, plus the fact that Thais, when they get behind their national teams, go absolutely crazy. Yeah,
I mean, you know, the women's Thai national team are fantastic. They're great on the court. Yeah. You know,
the football team has just won 2 games, one 7-0 and one 11-0. The women's football team.
Women's sport generally in Thailand is leaps ahead of the men's counterpart, their sports. But, you know, it's really great to see the national team. They're really engaging. I mean, they're all over social media, or because of the VNL currently taking place. I mean, my feeds are full of volleyball. It's really great to see them. I should say all the Thai matches will be taking place in Bangkok, so you don't need to travel too far to go and watch the Thai team, which will be great.
Brilliant. If you'd like to get in touch with Paulpool Southeast Asia Co Limited, you can email us on info@paulpool.co.th, or you can go to the website paulpool.co.th, or you can call us on +66 2622 0605 through to 7. All right, the next thing is really exciting. There's so much to like about this next story. This is the X15 class action race.
Yeah, so this is a new client for us, and we have commercial sponsorship and partnership opportunities available for X15 Action Games. And the X15 Action Games are the world's first one design wing foiling class competition, featuring close to shore, short course racing with 20 to 50 riders on the water at once.
Let's go into that a little bit. Because this intrigued me in that this you know, when you look at this one design, it can mean a lot of things. But actually, what they've done is they try to level the playing field for people who are racing by just having this single design apparatus.
Correct, and an affordable single design. I think that's important. So there's a couple of key points with this, and it's really exciting for us. We've obviously been involved in sailing for 20 years here in Thailand and across the region. We've worked on almost all of the sailing regattas at some point over the last 20 years. Sailing is obviously a very expensive sport because you need to own a boat. So it goes without saying. Also, you know, moving these boats to different locations is expensive. Flying in the race teams is expensive. The hotel accommodation, etc. This is a class of sailing. So the X15 class is a form of sailing. So it's a class of sailing. And if we look at world sailing, they really pushed windsurfing, really pushed kiteboarding, and this is the new class. It is an affordable board and sail, so it's a really affordable way to get on the water. So everybody sails. At whatever ability you are, you sail the same craft. So you sail the same board, same wing.
Manufactured by the same people, manufactured by the organisers.
Manufactured by Starboard, who are the organisers of this action game.
So I wonder if the equipment can't be invested in and spent loads of money on to make it better than your competitors. What are the variables? Skill?
Yeah. It's down to the athlete. It's down to the sailor.
Well, I think body shape might have something to do with it. For instance, I don't think you and I would be,
I don't know what you mean.
you know, I just think we're the wrong kind of round.
Actually, I think because of this, the nature of these boards. Okay, if we don't have balance, it's hard to get on the board to start with.
Right.
But these are really lightweight. It's funny. We were at Starboard's HQ just outside of Bangkok earlier in the week, and these boards are very light.
Right.
The foils are very light. The sails are very light, and you don't need upper body strength. It's all to do with
the wind.
balance and the wind. Yeah. So I think the boards and sails are all the same. So it really is down to the talent of the athlete and the talent of the sailor. And the skills
they could
of
have
that
some
sailor.
sort of handicapping system where they add a weight to.
I don't think you need. I think with a one design class, you don't need that.
Really?
No, I don't think you need that.
No, surely you need more wind to move a big fella.
I don't think so. Might need less.
Might need less.
Well, what about ballast on a yacht?
Oh yeah, that's true.
See, neither of us really know what we're
I-
talking about, but
I fancy a go at this. As you know, I live on a lake.
Yes.
And a kayak.
yeah.
But this looks like a lot of fun.
I mean, it's really exciting. What really excited me about this is the 20 to 50 riders on the water at the same time.
Sounds like bedlam.
It's going to be chaotic. It's going to be fantastic.
No, I love that.
It's also about close to shore and short course races as well. I mean, the problem we found with sailing regattas in the past is it all happens way off out to sea.
No, you can only really watch it on telly.
So it's even hard to do on TV. I mean, basically, unless you're on a spectator boat or a committee boat, you don't really get to see the action. You might watch some highlight shows.
I've been on
afterwards.
spectator and committee boats, and you can't really see what's going on either.
Where this is close to shore, so you can sit on the shore and watch this action. Also, just the sheer number, 20 to 50 riders. At Thailand's regatta height, we were getting maybe 45 boats in a regatta.
Right.
Phuket Kings Cup, 100 boats, but all the other regattas, 45 boats. So imagine that whole fleet all at once sailing is going to be fantastic.
I think it'd be a brilliant spectacle, and also exciting because you can see what's going on.
Yep, you can see what's happening.
And it's sprinting basically.
Yep.
It's short distance,
Course,
so it's exciting.
So it holds the attention. And also, there will be TV, so it will be broadcast.
Right.
Easier to broadcast because it's close to shore, etc.
What sort of atmosphere do they go for? Is it like a Red Bull sort of atmosphere with a DJ?
Obviously, Red Bull are going to be one of the brands we're speaking with.
Right.
Yes, I mean, we, in addition to the sailing regattas, we've also been involved in some surf competition and some kiteboarding tournaments. It's going to be a merge of those things. So of course, it's by design, it's a younger class of sailing. So yes, it will have that entertainment part with instead of the prize givings, there'll be prize givings with live acts and DJs and all the things you'd expect from a cool beachside.
Yeah, I mean, beach volleyball has got that same kind of vibe to it. But snowboarding or war,
I mean, I don't want to say
skiing.
extreme sports. I mean, I think extreme sports is perhaps the wrong term. I mean, it is sailing, but it is action. I mean, hence the name Action Games. It's real action. But also what's really important, and Starboard really pioneer this or really champion this, is sustainability. I mean, we've been involved in so many of those regattas where we've been conscious of the environment, etc. But let's be honest, a lot of those big boats are made up from pretty awful things. They have race teams flying in, so their carbon footprint is very high. Where the X15 Action Games, all of the boards and the sails are made from renewable plastics.
Incredible.
And also the competition is carbon neutral, so they're actually offsetting carbon based on carbon credits, but also planting mangroves, etc., to really offset the impact of these competitions on the environment, which is fantastic, which is really fantastic.
Do you know, so often it's something that people tag on as almost a marketing thing to say.
Yeah.
But you met these guys and you're convinced that they are deadly serious about this element, right?
Actually, you were there at the yachting conference that we did in January. I mentioned about greenwashing.
That's the phrase I pull out of my vocabulary there.
I believe that the regattas we worked for in the past have the best intentions to reduce the impact of those competitions on the environment. But the reality is, of course, if you're bringing lots and lots of people to a location, it's going to have some impact on the environment. Where the X15 class and particularly Starboard, they're really, everything they do, before they do anything, it's about the impact on the environment. So I was super impressed with the team there and how every part of our conversation was about how does this impact and how can we overcome or mitigate the impact on the environment. So, really lovely team at Starboard.
That's a feel
really
good for people getting
class.
involved.
Absolutely.
Anyone interested in sponsorship,
Yeah.
they can, kind of bask in that reflected awareness and care of the environment.
Yeah, again,
without greenwashing, they'll know that these guys are very serious about it.
Absolutely. These guys want to protect the ocean that's their playground, basically. So it's really nice to see.
It's a real feel-good factor about this event.
Yeah.
And so what's available?
First and foremost, I should say that we've, as always, we've developed a commercial sponsorship partnership program. But we've actually packaged the X15 Action Games for the world. So we've actually packaged the whole tour across the world. It's going to 10 countries. Proposed 26 locations include Thailand, Singapore, Macau, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Spain, England, USA, and the Cayman Islands. So we have developed packages for sponsors to sponsor all events, so the whole tour, the whole games, and we have one title sponsorship available. We have up to 6 co-sponsors available, and we have up to 10 official suppliers and 10 media partners available. Right. So that's coming on board for all 10 countries across the whole world in 2026. Right. But in order to make this more accessible, we have also done event specific. So if somebody only wants to sponsor Thailand, right, we have packages available for individual countries or individual events. So we have a presenting sponsor available per event. Again, up to 6 co-sponsors, up to 10 official suppliers and 10 media partners. And obviously per event, we also have host city venue partners as well, which is for, as it says, a city, or it could be a resort on an island that wants to promote this. So we have a really great and comprehensive program, whether you're interested in the world or interested in just one country. And I should say, although we've packaged the whole world, my team are focused on obviously the Southeast Asian events here in Thailand and in Singapore. So that's where our attention is going to be focused.
And the one question I like to ask you, and sometimes it's possible to answer it, sometimes it's not, but who are the sort of people who should be interested in sponsoring this event? What do you feel is the right kind of thing?
I mean, really, it's the same as a regatta, really. So you're looking for brands that associate with sailing. So although it's a younger, more active form of sailing,
in some ways that's wider than the yachting demo, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I think in addition to your usual suspects like auto brands or financial services, etc., I really think this lends itself to the apparel brands, so the apparel brands and fashion. It lends itself very much, you mentioned Red Bull, absolutely, energy drinks,
technology,
sports drinks, tech with wearable technology particularly. I mean, really, anybody...
Like the action cameras, DJI, those kind of things.
Absolutely. It's very, very similar to a yacht race sponsors. So all of those great brands we've had in the past, I think we'll be looking at this. But obviously it lends itself... I mean, Red Bull would be a very good sponsor for this. Obviously, with wings, and Red Bull gives you wings, etc. And they are absolutely on our radar. So we'll be really looking quite closely at this. Obviously, because of the sustainability aspect of this, we'll be looking at in automobiles. We'll be looking at EVs, etc. So the target is pretty wide, and I think it's quite exciting to look at.
If you'd like to get in touch with Polpool Southeast Asia Co Limited, you can email us on info@polpool.co.th, or you can go to the website polpool.co.th, or you can call us on +66 2622 0605 through to 7. All right, so as promised on the intro, we now have an interview with Eva Haider, whose name I have pronounced perfectly, as I always do. And this is about, of course, the very exciting X15 Action Games 2026, which is the world's first, and we're going to go into this phrase in some depth, I think, the world's first one design wing foiling class competition. This, when I found out about this one design thing kind of, the words kind of went, what's that? So I think it's really good if people know what that is.
Yeah, of course. So one design is when everyone is racing the exact same equipment. So there's not a lot of changes on, some people aren't sailing one thing and others are racing another. Everyone is on identical pieces of equipment. So it's all comes down to the athlete's athletic ability, and it's essentially it's showing who is the best in terms of racing performance. So it's quite exciting, as wing foiling is quite an emerging sport, and there's lots of different equipment all out there. Everyone's trying to figure out what to race on, what to sail. And so we've given a very clear idea of, okay, here's one piece of equipment, and let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, this is an audio podcast, but to describe it in words, how would you describe what do they call them? A foil? What's the in-house language for them now?
Yeah. So, I mean, for those who don't know, wing foiling is a super exciting sport that's come up. It combines the aerospace engineering and technology to lift you above the water. So racers are essentially flying above the water, which is super cool. And then using the power of the wind to propel yourself forward. So it's a very exciting time. There's lots of different innovations going on in the sport. You can see with the new America's Cup, Sail GP, everyone is foiling. So it is the biggest thing. It's the future of sport, like how we describe it. And yeah, very, very exciting.
I love that foiling. I will now sound like an expert when I talk about it, because I just genuinely love words that are unique and specific to industries or activities, and so I like to be down with the kids on the lingo. Foiling it is from now on, and they are foils, right?
Yes.
All right. I love this idea of the level playing field. Was that part of the inspiration behind it, or did that happen along the way?
Yeah, the level playing field, trying to make it as most accessible as possible, so that clubs and sports centers and people all know that this is a piece of equipment that's designed for durability, and to try and get as many people on the water as possible is the mission.
Yeah, I love that, because I think this might be the lowest point of entry into this sort of sport, right? The lowest cost, the lowest barrier.
Exactly.
And the principles are based on knowing how the wind operates over the water. So they're learning genuine sailing skills, would you say?
Yeah. And the cool thing is that this same equipment can be used from when you first begin and jump in the water and to all the way to the professionals. So it bridges that gap, and the Action Games are designed to be that sport that the youth can see and say, okay, I can take part in that because I'm also riding the same gear at my home club. Whereas sometimes the sports can seem like a really distant future, and what we see on TV can be very distant to what we realistically sail and do on the water at home.
I love that. I live on a lake. You should come over, and I can have a go.
Yeah, perfect.
No, I think you need the sea for the right amount of wind. Can it be done on a lake?
Can be done on a lake. The the minimum requirement for wind is about 6 knots.
Yeah, really get that.
Yeah.
Not unless I turn the fan on the Sala on full. All right, so we need to talk about sponsorship. And Paul, how did you all arrive at the decision to work with Polpool Southeast Asia?
Yeah, so we are based in Thailand as well. And so Paul specifically works with Thailand, Southeast Asia. So we've had events in Thailand and Singapore before, but then these action games we want to take to the next level. So these are designed to be very, very media driven, spectator driven, and bring a whole new level to the sport where people can actually watch the action happen right by the beach rather than being a sport that's miles out and you can't see what's going on. So the whole aim is to bring something to Southeast Asia, but also globally, where we totally change the way the sport runs.
Yeah, I like that. I like the fact that it's near to shore. I've emceed, DJ'd, and taken part in regattas. And whilst they're brilliant to be a participant of, they're not a very good spectator sport. And even if you're on one of the sponsor yachts or the referees yachts, it's still quite hard to. You got to kind of watch it from a helicopter to see the whole thing, Whereas this is close to shore. Yeah. And how many participants are you expecting for this one? Have you any idea yet, or is it too early?
Too early, but we have a world sailing class status, so that's giving us an opportunity for a world championship, which is a whole other step for the sport that's never happened before. So it's very cool to have an official world sailing world title for 2026. And then in terms of the action games, we would love to just get as many people on the water as possible and as many different countries as possible. So yeah, it's going to be very exciting.
Okay. Yeah, I just like the look of it. I might have to come down for that. Looks good. And so there's a social side to it as well. I mean, is it a bit like, in the extreme sports, you've got DJs on the beach and that kind of activity, that kind of action, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. Music and of course like the social aspect to keep everyone engaged, also commentating, to make it as much as an experience on and off the water as possible. But I think the key thing for us would be to make sure that even people that have no sailing experience or no experience on the water, they would be able to understand what's going on. It's super clear. If there's footage, we'll make sure that there's descriptions of what's going on and just make it as simple as possible and as accessible as possible, even in terms of spectators, and just a really easy watch, a fun watch. Very exciting.
So what would you say, given that it's a level playing field, everyone's using the same gear, they're racing in the same conditions, and yet some people can become champions. What's the difference then? I mean, what does a champion do that a competitor, or what does he do or she do better than the others? What are they doing?
Very good question. Generally in sailing in one design, there is a course set out and it becomes the race of who can get around the course the quickest. In terms of beating the other people behind them, it's not really time based. It's more just being in front, kind of like Formula One, for example. But I would say that the difference is there's a lot of different strategy on how you know where to go on the course, because you can't sail straight into the wind. There's strategy on where you go. Of course, making sure that you're staying upright the whole time, so not the less swimming you do, the better. But I would say, there's a lot of strategy behind using the wind, using the power of the wind, and where you just choose to go on the course.
So is that down to practice and repetition, like most sports, I guess?
Yeah, I'd say practice, repetition, but actually probably not, because this sport and sailing in general, anything can change. The wind can totally change. There's waves, so I would say no day is like the other one. So actually, it's more about being able to adapt quickly, and kind of have an understanding of, um, when you're in certain cases, what's the best next option or what's the best way to go about it. But then you've also got, dealing with the competitors as well. So there's kind of, if you were out by yourself on the course, that's one way of racing, and that would be totally different, I think, to if you had 50 other competitors next to you. You've also got to, you they're where
A
they are,
variable, yeah.
and yeah, so it's very different.
Okay, and I mean, I think what I was getting at when I did speak to Paul a little bit about this. As you may know, both of us are of the more generously proportioned chaps, and I was just wondering: is weight an advantage, disadvantage? What sort of body shape? There's got to be some variables that are that are there, despite the fact that all the gear's the same, right?
Definitely. Yeah. So I would say that the X15 was designed so that weight would become less of a variable because we want it to be as accessible. Um, but of course, there are in sailing in general, the heavier you are in strong winds, the more likely you're able to um, control the board, and also you have more of a leverage in terms of keeping the board flat and the boat flat, essentially. So that's a advantage.
I like the sound of this.
If the wind's light, of course, it helps to be lighter and less.
Well, those
less
thin
weight
people
to
just
it.
blow away.
Yeah. So yeah, but I would say
Advantage fat blokes. Hey!
exactly.
All right, that's been great. So thank you very much for giving us this time. I'm excited about this event. I definitely want to go. If you need a DJ, let me know. I'm very good at older music.
Awesome.
All right, thank you, Ava. If you'd like to get in touch with Paul Pool Southeast Asia Co Limited, you can email us on info@paulpool.co.th, or you can go to the website paulpool.co.th, or you can call us on +66 2622 0605 through to 7. The next thing we're going to talk about is the ASN Gambling Market Report for 2025.
Okay, so this will be in two parts. In next month's newsletter and in next month's podcast, we'll go into detail about the report. And I know you don't like me reading lots of figures during these podcasts because it's not very interesting listening.
Listen, but sometimes it's absolutely necessary, and this is one of those occasions.
Yeah. So
I'll just slope off and come back.
Exactly.
Ring me when you're done.
So this month it's very simple. We're just announcing that we, the sponsorship experts, have sponsored the ASN Gambling Asia Market Analysis 2025 report. Everybody knows, or anybody that listens regularly knows that ASN, Asia Sponsorship News, is our subsidiary. And since we bought ASN back in 2022, we've sponsored all of the syndicated reports ASN has done to date. And those ASN reports are for sale on the ASN website. And they're free for premium subscribers. So we support ASN by funding those reports, and we've picked reports that we're particularly interested in, and top sports, top locations, etc. So this report is quite interesting because of the changing regulation in Southeast Asia, and also the tightening of regulation in Europe. So we've looked at the gambling sector across Asia, and that means brands in Asia sponsoring in Asia, but also brands in Asia, so Asian brands that are sponsoring EPL clubs, for example, or different things. So it's actually a global report, but focusing on the impact from an Asian point of view. And I will read out a couple of figures just to paint the picture. Basically, global gambling sponsorship hit $2.1 billion in 2024 and is forecast to grow to $2.8 billion by 2029. So it's a huge category. Here in Asia, let's say Pan-Asia, which are deals done in multiple Asian countries, really led the region with a $65 million investment in deals in 2024, followed by India with $12 million and China 10 million. What's interesting is gambling is actually not permitted in a lot of these countries. Yeah. So it's quite interesting figures. And we should look at the three platforms. So in Asian gambling sponsorship, football dominates with 45% of all spend, motorsports 39%, and cricket 10%. Cricket. That's for the Indian market. So basically,
absolutely, India, Pakistan.
So actually, it's because Pakistan gambling is completely illegal.
Of course, yeah.
So in India, it's really the focus. But if we look at the top rights holders, Chelsea FC, Formula One Group, and the Board of Cricket Control in India. So those are the key rights holders that are reaping the rewards from this gambling. This report goes into granular detail. So I encourage listeners to really read the newsletter story because there's more detail in there. But also buy the report, obviously. So check out asiasponsorshipnews.com and read more about it.
Yeah. Read more about it. That's a really good marketing phrase for something that you read. I wonder if anyone's ever used that.
I made it up then.
Read all about it. You could have people standing on the corner trying to sell it, like young fellas with caps on.
Exactly.
Yeah. Read all about it. All right. The last thing, of course, as always, is any other business.
Yeah. So actually, we're doing this at the beginning of July. Obviously, June, July podcast mirroring the June-July newsletter. Last month we attended the Laguna Phuket Marathon, which took place on the 14th and 15th of June.
Where did you finish?
We spoke about that at length. I finished in the hospitality tent. We spoke about that at length with Roman last episode, so we don't need to talk about that too much. We will be talking about it again because we're currently packaging the Laguna Phuket Marathon for 2026, which is their 20th anniversary. So really exciting opportunity for next year. And that's about it for June, July, apart from my, elite athlete competing in the world's slow smoking competition. And I'm competing in the Chiang Mai heats next week, the Phuket heats the following week, and then the Bangkok heats the week after that.
And he's looking for sponsors.
No, I'm not. Self-sponsored.
All right. Well, that's great. Thank you very much, Paul.
Thank you, Trevor, and I look forward to next month.
Seeking sponsors. Seeking an opportunity to sponsor. Looking to maximise an already sponsored opportunity? Visit paulpaul.co.th, the sponsorship experts.